To this conversation now, from typecasting and insufficient funding to the struggle for fair compensation and representation, South African actors face a screenplay that is far more complex than what is put on paper. The Actors Spaces Masterclass Series, which aims to inspire creative practitioners in the business, will take place this coming week. This is to provide access to carefully selected sessions led by seasoned specialists for both industry professionals and up-and-coming talent. Now, this installment will examine the business and provide participants with a complete understanding of what it takes to be a successful actor. Here's Ayanda Sithebe, who's CEO of Actors Spaces, and joins us now to share more. Thank you so much for your time on the program, Ayanda. So perhaps maybe just take us through the relevance of this masterclass and what it essentially entails.
Good morning, Olis, and good morning to your viewers. So Actors Spaces Masterclasses really is, we've been doing this for close to 8 years now, and its main objective and purpose is really to close the gap. You know, I think we know how inaccessible the industry can be and how limited information can be. This is especially to people who can't access formal education like Ford University and so forth. But we know how the influx of people inquiring and getting in this industry. So the masterclass is really to bridge that gap, but also really make information very accessible. So our main focus really for this masterclass would be, as you've stated, the business of performance, which is one of the most neglected aspects of it. We really want to expose the entire value chain, or most parts of the value chain of the entertainment industry. Most people are attracted to the acting side of it, which is the front of screen. But we want to almost allow people to have access to what other disciplines are there within the craft of acting or the entertainment overall. So the classes will be covering elements of agency. So we have Zinzi Zungu, who will be talking about brand positioning for actors as well, and as well how do agencies function. Over the years, we've seen a lot of scamming that happens where people join agencies through money, and people are sort of robbed out of their monies because they're so desperate, they want to act. So through Zinzi's masterclass, we'll be able to really cover the do's and don'ts in terms of entering the industry. We also have the amazing Twiggy, who will be covering the art of directing, which is one of the most neglected aspects of it as well. So we're very excited that people that have always wanted to be directors and not knowing how to really get into it, Zinzi will really cover this. We also have the iconic Mam Tina, who will be looking at the journey of an actor. But what I'm excited about her class, she also covers, you know, the spiritual aspect of it. She covers de-rolling, which we've seen a lot of actors go into mental stress and mental health challenges, but she talks about that as well in terms of how to protect your mental health as an actor. So it's a jam-packed and go.
Yeah, I can imagine. And of course, many performers struggled with securing representation, understanding contractual obligations. So why does this continue to be an issue?
Information. The access to information in our entertainment is close to nothing. You know, in other parts like Hollywood, UK, when you search information on the websites, on the internet rather, there's information galore and relevant information. And I think we don't do best in really capturing information that becomes accessible online. And that's why it's easy to be attracted to the bogus stuff, because they're relevant there, you know. So I think for us, it's information getting out there, and the right information through the right organizations like Actors Spaces, organization like Saga. You know, people should be familiar, organization like the PMA, that has the right information for them. So the relevance in it is information, and the right information getting out there to the right people as well.
And here's the thing, and I think what you're mentioning now is very important. And when we look at the business side of things that you also mentioned a bit earlier on, we're seeing a whole lot of artists, a wave of artists also taking charge of their businesses right now. But it's obviously not all of them, because we've seen the trend with some of them who've come out to be vocal about safeguarding their art, where they don't just focus on the artistic side of things, they also want to focus on the business side of things. Some of these artists have on many occasions been blacklisted, called loudmouths and all other names. Just how important is it to actually have these artists that are equipped and skilled to deal with the business side of things?
Yeah, it's very critical, and that's a very important issue. You want actors to do what they love and focus on what they love and put all their energy in bringing these characters to life. But we cannot be ignorant in understanding that as artists, as actors, we are businesses. And the importance of really understanding the entire value chain in terms of how the industry works. It's beyond critical in terms of how the money flows, where the money starts and where does it end, what informs how much you are getting paid. I think it's very critical for actors to understand that aspect of the business, because we are seeing what's happening. I mean, Mam Nandi now, what's happening, and it's not just her. It was Babu Vusi not so long ago, holding a card up there. And there's a lot of factors, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of factors that get actors in these positions, The first one, which is really in our face, is that actors do not get royalties, right? And I think that's a big issue we have. Actors are not protected by the labor laws like any other employee. They operate as freelancers, and that makes it very unsustainable for them. And there's organizations like SALA who are running this race, and which I encourage a lot of actors to join these organizations so that the voice is more united as well. So when actors do not get royalties, is that they don't have a retirement plan already. So that's one. Two, there's a big gap in terms of financial literacy for artists in South Africa, in Africa. And for me, that's a big problem as well, because sometimes creatives, they get these paychecks, but they're not divided accordingly. We're not planning for the year. But sometimes, of course, because the work does not come as often as it should come. But I do think an element of financial literacy is very important in terms of encouraging artists and actors, the saving mechanisms, what's there as well. And this is encouraging the corporate side of it as well, the business corporates in terms of financial institutions coming in as well and say, would like to offer would like to offer financial education for creatives as well in terms of how best they can manage their finances, So those are some of the issues, but I think the important one that you've raised now, Olise, is the business of what we do. Understanding how the business work is very important, because that will encourage actors to get involved in the conversations like royalties and so forth, because understanding the mechanism of how the business works will get you involved in all aspects of it. And we have conversations that can move us forward. Us donating to actors, Ubuntu, it's a good thing that we must do as well. But we need sustainable solutions that can cut actors coming, because you can imagine the embarrassment that Mam Nandi is going through now. She doesn't want that for herself, but she's in that situation now where she has to go out there and say, I need help. But we need sustainable solutions so that actors going forward don't go through this. But for older actors as well, they've got another challenge where we're having less and less creatives or writers writing these writing characters for them. You know, we're seeing less and less of older people on our screens, and it makes it even worse for them to access work as well.
And just a quick one before I let you go now. I know you touched on some of the unions that are involved, unions like Saga. Ayanda, I just want to find out from you, do you think they are strong enough to protect actors from exploitation? And we've seen progress happening, albeit the wheels of change are grinding at a very slow pace. So is it a need that artists must be part of such unions? And do they really genuinely safeguard their interests at all times?
I can't speak on the behalf of Saga, but I know they do amazing work. But the people that I can speak behind is actors themselves. I feel like we need a sense of unity in that space. You know, I think the voices are so separate. Some are willing to come out and express their challenges. Some are not willing to because of what you mentioned earlier on, the fear of being blacklisted and stuff. But I think that what's going to move us forward as actors is unity. The more we have one voice, is the more we can put out our challenges out there and find solutions how to confront those challenges. So the biggest thing for me that can move us forward is unity. Is that oneness, one voice. The more actors come together and have one voice, that's the only way we can find progressive solutions for this industry.
Much appreciated. That was, of course, Ayanda Sithebe, who's the CEO of Actors Spaces, talking to us about the Actors Spaces, an initiative that is designed to empower creative practitioners in the industry. Thank you ever so much for your time and insights on the program.